Ooh. And we live? Yep, we live. A few minutes for somebody to come in there. There's PD. There's Kentucky. Irvin's in the house.
What's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, I'm dragging in here. A little slow starting out tonight. Yeah, we got Catman in the house, and let's start this party off by saying God bless America. God bless each and every one of you and your families. And tonight on the show, we have Jim Clark, Kentucky Catman. Appreciate you coming in with us, Jim.
Appreciate you having me.
John Finley's in the chat room. Maurice is in the chat.
Hey.
Hey, piling in. Yeah, I shared this thing on all kind of different sites, Jim.
Yeah, I shared it several places myself.
Yeah, hopefully we can start getting a wider band of people to come in. A lot of, like at one site, they wanted you to join the site, so that's why I added you on there. Crazy Catfishing's in the house. Appreciate that, buddy.
Everybody hit that thumbs up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll hang out here for a few minutes, Jim, and see if we can get some more Mark Turners in the house.
Mark, what's going on?
Yeah, I talked with Mark and Richard today. They was on the road riding together, and we was talking junk. I didn't get to go today, Mark. I didn't get quite enough bait, so I decided I was going to get a late start. I decided I'm going to wait till in the morning to go out. Bottom dollar's in the house.
Well, advertising for my buddy Dale Dunaway at Dale's Tackle. He helps me out a whole lot. Good guy.
Yeah, he seems like he is. I hadn't ordered anything from him. I guess most of the stuff what I can get, I get up here local in this bait and tackle shop, and I try to give him all the business I can. Now, there's some things I can't get from him.
Well, see, that's like I can't get no roll sinkers around here anywhere. The flat bank,
right?
They've got the big hole in the top. You can't get them here anywhere. So I get all them from Dale. You know, all my rig wrap stuff comes from Dale.
Bottom dollar said he's going to Santee this weekend. Good luck down there.
Hope he gets in there and tears them up.
That's some big waters. Have fun. Make up some video, boy. Got to put up some videos. That's something, guys, that we all. Excuse me, I got a real bad dry throat tonight. We all gonna have to work together and help each other out, guys. Share our videos, get our names out. We got a year from this month to build up to 1,000. So what?
Tracy, lightning bugs.
Oh, hey, Tracy. Lyle's in the house tonight. Hello, Lyle.
Evening, Mr. Stokes.
Yeah, we all gonna have to work. If you can remember to take your cameras. Yeah, we all gonna have to work together, guys. I want to make sure that this tournament happens next April, the 10th. And the only way to do that is because I went back and looked at the list. And probably 92 to 94% of the people that fished that tournament are not at 1,000 yet. So we're actually going to have to really pull together, help each other out, watch each other's videos, get our watch times up, get our subscriber list up by sharing this through Facebook, Instagram, or however you do it to help each other get them out. So we can get these numbers up. Jimmy Woodard's in the house. So the only way to do that is just share, get it out there, and let people know about these other channels, because every one of us got good channels. Every one of us is producing some stuff, but we got to make videos, guys. I've got enough for 3 videos right now. I'm going fishing tomorrow, And then I think it's supposed to rain like crazy all day Friday. So I'll sit down and start producing some videos. That's the only way we can do it, guys. I've sat and watched another channel. In fact, I posted it up today this morning on my Facebook page. It might have been last night when I was up walking. Trey Hodge is in the house. I posted it up. I watched these guys start out, small channel, and they have now passed how many I have, and they produce at least 2 to 3 videos every week. And they had a heck of that last video he just posted up last night of them bank fishing. They had a heck of a night and day catching monster flatheads. I say monsters, I'm talking about 30s and 40s. Great flatheads, monsters to me, monsters to most people. But
you come in the house there.
There he is. What's up, L Stan? So that just goes to show, if you put up the videos, your channel will grow. Might not grow like we want it to. And some of us are closer than others. I know Jim's getting pretty close. Ryan Outdoors is in the house. Just the Tips in the house. Richard Shook. Dustin. They piling in now, Jim.
Good deal, good deal.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. We just got to help each other out. I want to make sure this tournament happens because we need to be able to go live. We can't all carry our laptops on the boats with us. New School's in the house.
What's up, JR?
Yep. It's so yeah, I'm finally getting to do a little bit of fishing. So time for me to get my butt on this computer now that I got everything downloaded on it and figured out how to get all my pictures, all my videos onto this computer. Now I got to start editing with a new program, and my dumb country tail's got to figure out how to use this editing program to put out some good content for everybody. So I'm going in the morning. Jim, when's your next trip?
Probably going to be next week sometime. I've got a bunch of bids going out, starting working for myself, so I'm trying to get all this lined out where I can have some work, some money to come in to pay for that catfishing.
There you go. There you go. Now, you big cat that the picture is, that day you was bank fishing out there, what was you throwing for bait?
Cut bluegill, fresh caught. I mean, I caught him right there at the same spot and cut him in half and threw him out there.
There you go. One of my favorite baits. I know Richard swears up and down he's never caught a catfish on cut bluegill.
I've caught more catfish on bluegill than I have anything else.
Yep, me too. Yeah, I seen that bottom dollar, that Streamlabs. And Jim told me about it tonight. Did they figure out all about that? And I tried it out. Jim's tried it out. I went in and deleted that. The main reason was they wanted to know too much information about my Google account, my passwords and stuff like that. And I really did not like that. Even though I don't have nothing on it, they can actually set up accounts and stuff using your name and your passwords, and you know nothing about it until something hits you. So I really didn't like it. That I didn't know enough about it. I've got my son looking into it. He's a computer guru. So I kind of got him looking into it, trying to do some investigating on the system itself to find out. What's up, Damien? All about it. Until then, I won't use it. And my concern is that does it violate YouTube? Does it violate the YouTube rules and regulations? And if it does, I don't want my channel shut down, because if I do, then that will be the end of the tournament. And I'll just go back to fishing like I normally used to. Do you use anything else besides bluegill up there, Jim?
Oh, man. Skipjack, carp, Asian carp, You can't use any kind of sports fish up here. You can't use bass, crappie, anything that's got a krill limit on it. It has to be taken home if you're going to keep it and cleaned and discarded then. But
Right.
even if you clean them crappie, you can't use the heads or anything on the lake.
That's what's crazy. I don't understand that. What's up? Kenny P's in the house.
Hey, Kenny.
That's what I don't understand. If you take the fish, you take it home and you clean it and you're going to eat it. What you do with the carcass, you ought to be able to do anything you want to do with the carcass. But they don't see it that way in like up there in Kentucky or in South Carolina.
Yeah, it's just like if you deer hunt and you kill a deer and somebody wants to buy the antlers from you, unless you're a licensed taxidermist, you can't sell nothing.
Right. Huh.
Until after you have made a product from it. Once you make a different product out of it, and it's not just raw animal.
Right. Otherwise, if you just mount the antlers on a board, then you could sell it.
Yeah. Or like my knife handles or the wind chimes that I make and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I got a whole bag full of antlers. I probably got 25, 30 pound of antlers up there in my building.
I'll send you a box. You can mail them up here.
Yeah, man, I talked to a man I used to work with. He's a big time hunter. And if it was brown, it was down with him. And up there where he was at, he was thinning out a lot of the inbred deer, some messed up antlers. You talking about some screwed up looking antlers. And my father was going to make knives and use the deer antlers, and then he got bad sick before he passed away and never did get to make the first knife with them. Lena's in the house. Hello, Lena.
Hey, Lena, how are you?
Damien, best bait for blues and flatheads. Any tips? Where are you, Damien? I don't know where you're located at. I would say the best bait for any catfish or any fish that you're going after would be what that fish is feeding on in your specific area. If your the main forage is brim or white perch or skipjack or crappie or whatever, if you can use a sport fish, then that would be what I use. I would stick with live bait or cut bait. I know a lot of people like using stink baits and stuff like that. That's good for channels. But if you're going after the bigger blues and the bigger flatheads, then you want to use fresh cut, something that swims. I guess that would be the best thing I could say, wouldn't you, Jim?
Yeah, certainly. If you're going to catch bait the day before and you can't keep them alive very long, what I'll do is I'll put them in Ziploc bags alive, and they're still flopping, and throw them in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then put them in the cooler the next day and take them out one bag at a time. I'll have 3 or 4 in there and then cut them up. And I've actually, if I threw them in the freezer for 3 or 4 hours and pull them out, as soon as they start warming up, they start flopping again.
Yep. In fact, that's what I done today. I went to the pond, and I knew I wouldn't be able to. I hadn't finished my bait tank, so I knew I wouldn't be able to keep them alive. And I done like you said, Jim. I threw them in a Ziploc, threw them in the freezer, let them freeze, not completely solid, and I pulled them out about an hour ago and threw them in the bottom of the refrigerator. So they'd be ready in the morning when I hit the water. Oh, excuse me. He said he's located in Virginia, Jim.
Good deal. Virginia, you're going to get a mix of everything. How far are you from the James there, Damien? You can get into the James and get you some big shad. You can get
Chunky Cat's telling him to use eel. That's what he uses up there in Virginia.
Yeah, I think OPD's sending Richard a box of eels.
If Richard would open up a box full of eel, PD, he would come hunt you down. Glenn Catfish is in the house. Hello, Glenn. So what is your rig that you usually tie on when you got there throwing, off the bank first?
Off the bank, I use just a basic Carolina rig. Here lately, I've been using the Reaper, Hooker's Terminal Tackle Reaper 7-aught. because it's big enough that you can catch a 110 pounder, or small enough that 2 3 pounders can take that hook.
Right.
If I'm using a big piece of bait, I'll just go right through the top of the back where there's just maybe a 1/4 inch on that hook, and toss it out. But then I run up to a barrel swivel, 150-pound barrel swivel with a 50-pound monofilament leader, and I use an easy slide rig wrap sinker slide with anywhere from 2 to 6 ounce flat bank sinkers.
Lightning Bug wants to know, so Jim, you and Patriot do a lot of bank fishing. How do you pick your spots that you go? You go first, Jim.
I basically look for places where the current's flowing pretty fast and coming around a bend or something where it slows down. That bait fish will gather in that little eddy and everything. Them flatheads are set up in there. I've got one spot on the other side of the river on the Indiana side, and it goes from the bank out to about 50 yards. It's not but 4 foot deep. And then it drops off deep, and I'll throw out there just as far as I can toward that ledge, and then flatheads come up there and they feed like crazy. I mean, I've gone in there before and caught, one night I caught 16 fish in 8 hours. The smallest one was about 12 pounds. The biggest one was 68, and they were all flatheads.
There you go. Excuse me.
But look for current seams along the bank and bends and structure sticking up, old trees or something like that.
Right. Our problem is around here, Tracy, is that we're pretty much restricted because most of our lakes around here is balled up, private land, multi-million-dollar homes, and a lot of the bank areas that we used to be able to fish have been cut off from us because of people coming in, trashing it up, dumping tires and shingles, and the same old, it cuts us off. So we pretty much restricted to fishing around boat ramps. But with that being said, I do a lot of my homework looking at, oh Lord, I just had a brain fart. What's that program that you can go on your phone and look at the app to show you the water contours and stuff?
Navionics.
Navionics. I do a lot of Navionics looking. That's how I found that one spot right around South Point Boat Landing. Excuse me. That the river channel cuts real close to the bank, but you do have a lot of good shallows. You have a lot of laydowns, a lot of undercut banks. So that's the stuff that I look for, is not just on the Navionics, but doing my homework when I'm out on the boat or out walking. Every spot has different. Like when I bait fished the other week in the rain, I set up real shallow, throwing into a little old cove. All the flatheads come out of that cove, throw off in the mouth of it, and I finally started picking up a few blues. You'll see that on the video that I put up. So, like Jim said, don't be scared to throw shallow, especially right now. Them fish are feeding. It's right before spawn. Them fish are feeding hungry. Even the flatheads, they'll take that cut bait real quick. So that's what I look for. I use Navionics a lot, but I also, like Jim said, there's a lot of visual. Oh God, guys, I am so sorry. Long day. There's a lot of visual stuff that you can look for that will give you little hints of, hey, I might need to throw right there. Like he said, current seams. You can see that in the water. Like right now, all the pollen, that pollen will show you where that current seam is, won't it, Jim?
Exactly. That, and when that pollen and stuff hits and different things are falling in there and gets caught up, you'll see the shad and skipjack jumping around that area.
Big Nasty's in the house. Scotty Hill's in the house. Quirky Monkey's in the house.
Fellas.
Yeah, there's little old clues that will actually help you figure out, do you want to throw off into the current, or do you want to throw it into the back eddies where that water's backing up right there? I throw up in the eddies. Now, you can get tangled up in eddies because them eddies will pull debris and stuff up in there. But that being said, most of the time it will not be your bigger debris. Your bigger debris is going to get caught up in that current. It's going to carry it on down the lake most of the time, unless you got a real, I guess y'all got more wing downs up there on the running water in the river, because we down here on lakes, we don't have wing downs. We have no need for them.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have much in our section, our pool of the Ohio River that we've got. I know of maybe one that comes off of Cannleton Dam, and one, they didn't build one on the Newburgh Dam because there's a big island right on the other side of it that acts as a wing dam, slows the water down.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you do get natural wing downs by debris building up.
Oh, yeah.
So them are good spots to look for, guys. And I don't know how much public water area that you got up there, Jim, where you're at. But each person in each state that you can, even county and citywide, you got parks and stuff like that that people are allowed to go fish and can be very productive.
Yeah.
Most times in these parks, guys, people are fishing with usually worms and chicken livers and smaller baits. You'd have to go out there and start throwing big chunks of cut bait and catch fish like these people ain't never seen in that water.
Right.
It ain't that they hadn't been there. Just like that pond you caught that big one out of. Exactly. If you would have just looked at that pond, you would have never thought that big fish would have been in there, right?
Right. I mean, you know, people are surprised when I show them pictures of 30, 40-pound fish that me and K-Bug have caught out of there. They're like, oh, you didn't catch it. Well, there's the house right there behind me. You can see it.
Right.
You know, and hell, I've seen gars swimming around that lake 4.5, 5 foot long. A kid caught a 50-pound buffalo out of it.
Woo! Now, buddy, that would have been a fight.
He caught it on a jig on a bass rod.
Dang right. Lena wants to know, how far are you from Cincinnati?
Oh, about 3.5, right at 4 hours.
Yeah, so guys and gals, you don't know till you throw. Go out there. Don't be scared to throw big baits and just see. I mean, they'll hit the small baits too. I like big baits for one reason, and one reason mainly only, is to keep the dinks from driving me crazy.
See, I'm an equal opportunity fisherman. I'll catch the dinks just as fast as I will the big ones. Yeah. I like the big ones, but I just like catching fish.
Oh, I do too. And I mean, but I've got the patience. I do a lot of head hunting. I do.
Yeah.
And now if I've got somebody on the boat that are looking to catch numbers, then I downsize and stuff like that. But if I'm by myself, I'm throwing big baits.
Yeah. If I'm out on the boat on the river, I'm throwing, you know, I'll take a skipjack that's 20 inches long and cut right behind the front fins. You know, that thing's as big as my hand.
Yeah.
Put a 10-aught hook out in his lip and throw it out there.
Right. I mean, I've got the patience for it, but I mean, and there's a lot of times if I want to go put numbers in there, it's not hard. Guys, I mean, really, if you find some good structure or whatever and you want to put some numbers in there or some good eaters, take you some night crawlers, some chicken livers, and even cut brim and stuff and cut it in small chunklets using smaller hooks. Go around bridges and stuff like that, and boat landings. Don't discard boat landings, guys and gals. There's a lot of fish get caught out in the lake. People say, I'm going to take that fish home. Then they get back to the boat ramp. It's late at night. They're tired. They said, man, I ain't taking them fish home. Where did they dump it? They dump it right there at the boat ramp. So
all the time.
All the time. You know, John, that needed a couple to mount between two hush puppies, lightning bug said. Now, that, you know, John, Big Nasty just posted up a couple weeks ago. That woman caught that 58-pounder down there where we had our tournament at, right off the bank. John's constantly catching 30s, 40s, 50s, and I think he's got a 60 that come out of that same water. right there at the boat ramp.
Yeah, I'm coming back down to fish that.
That's a good place. You know, the South Point boat landing. Now that other boat landing I went to the other week, y'all see that guy cut my line with his boat motor. That's a good area in the lake, especially right now. But that is the boundaries of Mecklenburg County, which is Charlotte, North Carolina, and Gaston County. When they turned that and made it real, it was a real bad area. There was a lot of druggies and stuff in there, stuff getting stolen, people's cars getting broke into. They went in there, cleaned it up, paved the parking lot, built new ramps, built new decking and stuff out there, put benches and stuff for people to sit on and fish. Now, you'll be lucky if you can find a place to fish from. And it's really hard to catfish because they didn't take down all the trees. So in order to get that rod out there, it's tough. You'd really have to wade out into the water to be able to make a long cast. Lena, the tournament will be next April the 10th. Next April the 10th. We're giving everybody time to get their 1,000 count up. And plus, April is a real good month because in January, we had a lot of people struggle to even put fish in the boat. And I decided, nope, April will be the best month on Lake Wiley that everybody can catch fish. This is a one fish tournament. So this will give everybody a chance to put some good fish in the boat and have everybody to weigh a fish. That's the whole thing, is everybody weigh a fish and do it live.
Well, I mean, you caught the two biggest fish I've ever caught in North and South Carolina while I was down there. And, you know, old JR beat me on the smallest fish by about an 8. Or actually, I beat him on the smallest fish, but mine wasn't a catfish.
Yours wasn't a catfish.
I literally, on a speaky rig, caught a thread fin that was maybe just probably 1 1/8 inches long. By the mouth, it wasn't foul hooked either.
I'll tell you, I know a lot of people question that catfish on that sabiki rig. Him out there at the mouth of the South Fork, I have literally caught catfish like that. I've got a picture on one of my videos of that little bitty catfish on that sabiki rig that was tipped with a little red worm that couldn't have been 2.5 inches long.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it could be, but that little son of a gun right there will stick you quicker than anything in the world.
Yeah, I'm more scared of little bitty catfish than I am any snake.
Son, I've been right through there and right out the backside right there, boy. That ain't no fun. Drop it and reach and grab it. It's too late then. He done got you. Justin Fishing Fetish is in the house.
Hey, Justin.
All right, guys. Ask some questions. We got Jim in here. Now's your chance to ask the questions. Hit him up.
There you go.
Got a few more minutes, Jim, and we'll do a spin.
Yeah, anytime, you know, anybody out there wants to make the drive up here, all you got to do is give me a holler. I'm on Facebook under Jim Catman Clark. Leave me a message on YouTube on one of my videos. We'll get in touch, and we'll go out on the boat and fish the Ohio. I
forgot to go in and change the name on this. We're always doing a test. I got it marked as test. I just seen that. I got creator. Just the tip wants to know, do you fish for anything else other than catfish?
Good question, because this past week I've been fishing some floodwaters off the Ohio back in these fields and been catching white drum, freshwater drum like crazy. And like most people, I thought they're just trash fish and they're not good to eat, full of bones. And I talked to an old fella. He said, no, he said, that's the best fish you'll ever eat out of that river. And I got doing some research on it. And everything I read says They taste just like redfish out of the ocean.
I'm not ignoring you, Jim. I'm sitting here messing with this daggum randomizer putting names in. So don't pay me attention. Y'all guys hit him up, ask some questions.
I look forward to it, Lena. You and Tim and all of you can come down, just you, whatever. I'm ready. I'll fish anytime I can. That's one reason I'm starting my own business and working for myself. That way, if I want to take off and go fishing with somebody, I don't have to answer to nobody. I just take off and go.
Twerking monkey. Pause. Twerking monkey just hit the daggum prize wheel.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Mr. Twerking monkey himself. Let me dig out that wheel. I got her sitting right here. Mr. Twerking monkey. Just a tip got hit last week. Yep. So let's see.
Oh, good deal.
Monkey, get a hold of Jim Clark. I think you know how to contact each other.
Yes, sir.
And he'll hook you up.
I've got some new things I've been working on, so I'm going to make him a little surprise to send to him.
Oh, and Jim, I got your bobber that's sitting on the table down there.
That's all right.
That you got the other week. I made them, and they sat in there, but I never go in the dining room, Harley. And I walked in the dining room. I said, well, son of a gun. So they'll be in the mail by the end of the week, buddy. It won't be tomorrow. I'm going to the lake.
I heard that. Don't be in no rush. Just whenever you can. That's fine.
All right.
No, I'm going to start hitting the white drum pretty hard. They get big around here. They get about 40 pounds.
Son, that's a wide fish. That would be, if that fish turns sideways in the current, that would have to be a tough fight.
Oh, 15-pound ones will wear you out.
And that's what, to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that fight. I'm looking for something to double that rod over, pull the freaking drag off my reel.
But, I mean, nobody fishes for white drum. And they're so plentiful. You throw night crawlers or crawfish or minnows, small minnows out, and you'll catch them just boom, boom, boom. Just huge deal.
That's right. Is it good cut bait?
I've never tried perch for cut bait. I've always just thrown them back because, I enjoy just catching them. Now, the Asian carp up here, you can go to we got a dam up here called Candleton Dam. And if you get up on top of the hydro plant and look down, you would swear that you could walk across the backs of the Asian carp that are in that little pool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you can I've got a Ugly Stick GX2, and I put a big rattle trap with big trebles on it.
Yep.
I throw it out there and let it sink for about 5 seconds in that heavy water and then just reel as fast as I can. And you can snag as many as you want. And when you cut them, they bleed like a stuck hog.
Yeah, I seen people get them in their boats, and it just covered the bottom of their boats full of blood. Just the tip, Patriot, on the Indy drum and the Catawba chain. Patriot, just the tip. I've never seen any that come out of Lake Wiley area or Fishy Creek or Mountain Island or Lake Norman. I've never seen it or Watery. They say they're widespread. That I just don't know. I've never seen them or heard of them being on the Catawba chain of rivers.
And they stay more in the current section unless it's backwater. Then they'll feed up in that backwater, eating them worms just as fast as they can pick them up. I noticed the other day when I caught those 3, whenever I'd lay them on the tailgate of the truck to take the hook out, they just poop all over everything because they make so much worms.
Right. Yeah, I would love to catch them, but I just don't think they're in our chain of rivers and lakes. I really don't. I might be wrong, but I've never heard. And I fished the Lake Wiley all my life. I'm 55 years old. I was born and raised fishing that with my grandpa and my father, so I've never heard or seen anything like that coming out of them waters.
Yeah, I've got to find me a place to get crawfish because you catch the bigger ones with them out there.
Huh. There you go. Know your bait. And that's another thing I've been doing a lot of study on is certain times of the year, certain baits. All baits work. I mean, if you use your swimming baits, but I think there's certain seasons where certain baits work better. Like right now during the spawn, past couple of weeks, you throw a chunk of crappie, you gonna get hammered. Right now, the other day, you'll see on my video, I put right at a 30-pound and right at a 30-pound blue and flathead in the boat, and both of them come off. One come off a brim head, the other one come off a largemouth bass head. That largemouth bass head was probably about the size of my hand. The brim head was probably half the size of my hand. In about 4 foot of water, about 15 foot off the bank. So, and the crappie got only one fish that day. Now, I think the crappie are moving back off the banks in some areas. And I think they feed. I think they go up at night. Whatever's spawning, that's what they're going to feed on. I mean, I might be wrong, but prove me wrong. I think that they're opportunists. And if that's easy bait, I'd say another month, less than a month, the brim are loading up with eggs right now.
Yeah.
They're headed to the banks. When you start seeing them brim beds everywhere, make note. You go out there and you set up right off of them brim beds, put you some live brim and some cut brim down.
You're going to
get hammered.
See you there, Just a Tip.
See you there, buddy. Appreciate you coming in.
I'm with Justin's fishing fetish on that one. They say Wiley's got big fish. I think everybody keeps them in coolers and just takes them down there while they make their video because I never caught that first catfish.
Yeah. They always say it's what's behind the rod and reel, not what's on the end of it.
Well, maybe I'm just too awesome for them North Carolina fish.
Guys, I mean, I hate it was such a struggle, and it got so cold on us in January. Sometimes January can really be an awesome month. Well, we've seen 2 big fish put on the boats. January can really be an awesome month, not for numbers, but for size. But that's why I kind of wanted to look towards April, when I know these fish are filling up, they're loading up with anything they can get their cotton picking lips on for the tournament. And April is the month to do that. John, you got to go. I appreciate you coming in, buddy. But yeah, Jim, I appreciate you coming in tonight. I think it's so far a good show. Not enough questions. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. Guys and gals that's in here in chat, we need some questions. We need y'all to start asking questions.
Lightning Bug there said Richard's out there catching flatheads and cast nets now.
Yeah, he caught one the other day in a cast net. He sure did, and there was a big flathead. Yeah, this wasn't no little flathead. This is a big flathead.
Yeah, that lake I caught that big fish out of, I threw a cast net in there one day. I went around something big. It tore a hole in the side of my net.
Hagen Grubbs is in the house. Guys, Hagen's new to the channel. Good guy, does some good fishing. Check out his channel. He put some good fish in the boat, too. I seen him out there with his youngin fishing, too. And that's what I love seeing. Everybody's in fishing with them youngins.
Justin Fishing Fetish asked, what's your favorite rig to use? Mine standby. I mean, my all-time, 99% of the time, I'm using the Carolina rig. Because we got enough current that it, and I'll use about a 2 to 3 foot leader, and that bait will float. in that current on the Ohio. Every once in a
Yeah.
while, I put I haven't caught nothing on the demon dragons yet. I've tried and tried, and I've lost about $25 worth of demon dragons. But
Yeah, I've lost every one but one of them that Bill sent me. And that's what that blue come on the other day, that 30-pound blue. But yeah, I mainly stick with Carolina rigs. Now after the other day, I did tie on some Kentucky rigs and float rigs when I go tomorrow.
I don't know if y'all seen the video. Me, Pop, and Kevin were here when they came up to visit and fish with me. I've got some hot sauce called Satan's Blood.
Yeah.
That's the hottest stuff you ever put in your mouth, son.
Mm. Not me, buddy. Was it made out of that Carolina Reaper?
I don't know what kind it is, but it's thicker than gear oil.
Whew.
And it'll flat light you on fire.
Yeah, old guys used to bring it to work, and it was so hot. You just dip a toothpick in it for a pot of chili.
That's the way this is.
So that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it. But Jim, do you ever float fish?
Yeah. About right now is when I'll start running floats with small bluegill, probably about 2 to 3 inches long, underneath a float about a foot deep in some of these shallows on the river. You know,
Right.
2 to 3 foot deep out there. And yeah, they'll flat tear them up. Now that I'm working for myself, I'll be doing a lot more night fishing.
Right.
Get over there and try to get some videos made if I can ever figure out how to edit these dang things.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Freddie Begg, my gold mining buddy's in the house. Wants to know, do you do any fishing with chicken livers? And if so, how do you keep them on the hook? He said he uses pantyhose.
Pantyhose works good, but there's a company out now called Vic's Bait Netting.
Yep.
Lady that owns it, Vicky, she's super nice gal. And look it up on Facebook and stuff. It's called Vic's Bait Netting. And it gives you a bigger opening to let it out faster. That's flavor and the juice and stuff. And another thing I've used is I'll take liver and put it in a blender and then cut chicken breast up into 1-inch pieces and then let it sit in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days and soak that juice in after you let that chicken breast dry a little bit. Got that from old Chris Flores, and it works great for these small lakes around here for channel cats.
Yeah, it's I used a treble hook with a swivel, and I'd take the hook off the swivel, and we always salted our chicken livers a little bit before we went out. We went ahead and cut them in fishing size pieces, salted them a little bit. It seems like it toughens them up just a little bit.
Yep.
And then use the swivel. And what I do is push that treble hook right up through the middle of that chicken liver where it just barely penetrates it, and then hook it with that swivel on the back side. And usually you can put a pretty good chunk. The main thing is use like spinning rods where you can lob it pretty good without slinging it, having to sling it. And that seems to work better than any, if you don't want to mess with the netting. The netting, I've seen that netting, and it looks like it works pretty good. It's pretty simple.
But it's just like anything else.
Pantyhose on it.
It's just like anything else. So the pantyhose and stuff, once you get that barb through it, it's on there. It ain't coming off.
No. So you basically, when it's time to refinish, you got to cut that off of your hook, don't you?
Yes, sir. Once they've sucked all that liver out of there, I just take a knife and cut it off and get a new piece on.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's I say I never use chicken livers anymore, but there's times and places that chicken livers will put you numbers in the boat.
Yeah.
It will put you numbers in the boat. And if you I love my little catfish about this long, little salt and pepper cats. night crawlers, and chicken livers. Oh yeah, you can fill a cooler full of them daggum things with that.
Yeah, that's what KB. That's all he can catch is them little bitty salt and pepper ones. Fill up.
Okay, B don't come in here much no more.
He's not in here. He must not be feeling well today.
Yeah, he don't make it into the show too much. I don't know if it's after work or if it's just a bad time for him. But yeah, chicken livers also, and y'all can look it up on YouTube. We catch hybrids, the hybrid bass up here on Moss Lake using salted down chicken livers. And also, you can go on YouTube and check it out. There's a man that catches striper, big freaking striper, and he'll put 4 or 5 freaking chicken livers. It'll be a wad of chicken livers like that, and he drops them down to these striper. Check it out on YouTube. I can't remember the name, but he's catching monster striper on freaking chicken livers.
Huh.
Never would have believed it.
Lena K-Bug's doing good. She's keeping up with her schoolwork and stuff, and just trying to figure out why she's getting these migraines, which they didn't have the doctors and stuff like they do now back when I was a kid, and I used to get them once or twice a week. I mean, they're just debilitating.
Sorry about that, Lena. I did not mean to overlook your question. Dwayne Miller's in the house. You prefer bait caster or spinning reels? I prefer bait casters. I do use spinning reels mainly for my bait rods. You, Jim?
Let's see. I'm sitting here looking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are bait casters, and I got 3 spinning setups. I like them both.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I have no complaints. I got little old micro lights. The dim reels are 25 years old. And I couldn't tell you how many times them things has been spooled.
Oh,
Out there throwing little bitty jigs and old catfish grab it and just be gone. Take it to the knot and keep Cadillacing.
You know, in 47 years that I've been on this earth, I have never caught a catfish on an artificial lure.
Really?
Really?
Son, I've had them to smack daggum rattle traps. I've had them to smack rubber worms, rubber lizards, spinner baits. Number of times I've caught them on spinner baits, but I'm going to tell you what the main thing that I used to catch daggum channel cats with, and not going after them, I was going after crappie and brim, was little bitty jigs, little small jigs.
Huh. Yeah.
Well, I caught one the other day up there at Moss Lake. Y'all seen the pictures on Facebook. I was going after crappie and flipped a jig head tipped with a little old minnow, just a little small minnow. Flipped it right underneath the dock. Bam, he hit it. About 5 or 6 pound channel. Channel cats, I'm going to tell you, I used to catch big channels on live brim, floating live brim like you would a big shiner for largemouth bass.
Now that I've done. I'm using a big, remember those big white and red bobbers?
Yep.
Ones that I used to use the ones almost the size of the coolers that they've got now.
Yeah.
Real big bluegill out there. I'd catch the hell out of bass and channel cats off a live bluegill.
Maurice, I'm a mono man.
Oh, I use mono for my leader, and that's it. I want that braid because when I'm fishing Ohio up next to that structure, as soon as he starts pulling, I want to be able to pull him away from that stuff. I've got 80-pound braid on there, and I've used mono before, and you know, it just.
Need to try that Andy. I'm telling you, Jim, you need to try that Andy. It really surprised me when I put it on that one reel. I've heard Dieter talk about it for years and Jeff Manning talk about it. That line has very little stretch in it. It casts like silk. I like it. That's what I'm going. And I've got one rod. My old bass rod, I do have braid on it. I've been trying for a year and a half to put a catfish on that freaking rod, and I have yet to hook one up. I got hit the other day, but I missed him. But I do have 20-pound braid on that rod and reel. I don't like the way it sounds James Burke, I was asking him about it. He told me of a line, and I wrote it down and set the house. But the line has got a coating on it. And then he said, you know, my problem is I don't like the way it sounds coming through them eyes on that rod. And that's not a cheap rod. It sounds like it's grinding or cutting or something. I just don't like the way it sounds. And I got that, was it Power Pro? Yeah, Power Pro is what I got on that rod and reel.
Now, I won't ever buy a Power Pro again. I don't care if Power Pro called me and said, we'll supply you the rest of your life. And I just tell them to keep that shit.
I mean, I didn't know. When I went up there, it'd been so long since I'd used braided line, probably 25 years when I was a heavy bass fisherman and braid first come out. But I didn't know which one to pick. Man said, this is what I use, Power Pro. So, I mean, I don't know. That's what I put on it. But the one that James said it comes with, it's got two. There's two. One's got a coating and one doesn't have a coating. He said, you want the one with the coating, the XL or something. I can't remember.
I bought Power Pro about 2 or 3 different times, and I've had the same problem. One time I forgot to hit the button release on my baitcaster, and this is a 2-ounce sinker. And when I went to cast it, everything flew off. That Power Pro just snapped. And I've had to do it and buy it at different places, make sure I didn't get the same batch and everything else. Thought, you know, maybe it's a bad batch, but I've had it break. I've had a 40-pound Power Pro break on a 2-pound channel cat trying to lift it up out of the water.
Well, that means he probably drug it across a rock.
I drug these across rocks and trees and everything else, and this 80-pound, and believe it or not, I got it off Wish. Except for 2 of them, I've got the new Rampage 8-strand on it, and I really like it.
So, I mean, I like the idea of no stretch or low stretch, letting the leader take the shock. But with that being said, I guess, Jim, I look at it as what your rod setting at. Is it medium heavy? So you got what?
I've got medium heavies and I've got heavy. Big Cat Fever, and then I got medium heavy Chris Flores. And the Blue Cat rod.
What are they, 20-40 rods?
I got one right here. Let me get it and look. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Let's see. Flathead rod is a 10 to 50. And the Blue Cat rod is 30-65.
Huh. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand what that is really meaning. They think it's the line class, but it's really not. That's what that rod can take before it breaks. So if you're using 80-pound braid, you want to make sure that your drag cannot overpower that rod, or you're going to break something. Something's going to break.
There ain't a reel out there right now that, unless you get into ocean line reels, that's got over a 20-pound drag, 25 max. You know, with 80-pound test, just pull. I can crank her all the way down, and they'll still pull that drag.
Got you. Yeah, that's what, you know, a lot of people don't understand. If you're using a rod that say, a lot of them say like 12 to 20 or 15 to 30, and they lock down and they got 60-pound braid and they lock that thing down, something's got to give.
Yeah. Something's
going to break. Something's got to give. That's why I guess a good shock leader that's got a little bit of stretch in there helps, because the closer to the boat you get, the more that you better mess with that drag system and loosen it up, because it's going to break something.
Yeah. Hey, Glenn. Now, Justin Fishing Fetish says on here, he says, I'm going to try braid this year. I'm going to have the camera rolling when I cast it first time, praying I don't backlash. Now, I have backlashed mono 20 to 1 since I switched to braid.
that I first bought that old Quantum reel. It was the Bill Dance Special, the all side. And that's when the braid first come out with that spider wire. Now, buddy, that stuff right there will cut your finger off.
Yes, sir.
I filled that brand new reel up with that brand new line. Didn't bother taking any more line with me to the river. I drove 30 minutes down the road to the lake, reared back to make a cast, and hooked the limb behind me, and that spool said, poof. I just cut it, throwed it back in the truck, come on back to the house. I didn't have no more line with me. It was just that spider wire. If you backlash it, you cut it out.
Yeah.
You cut it out.
You know, the bass reels like that Quantum and stuff like that, they'll backlash a lot easier than these Abus and
right
Pumas and stuff. I mean, that's when I bass fish, I just use spinning rods.
Right. I've had that reel 25 years. I don't know how long I've had it. It's still like smooth as glass. I made it a catfish rod now. I got it on a medium action pitching rod. I love it. I still looking for that fish to just break it. I'm trying to break it so I can hang it on the wall.
Oh, Glenn, he says he can hardly break his mono when he hangs it up. He says he knows couldn't break braid.
I'm telling you.
A trick I learned on that braid, especially this 80-pound test, which my 50-pound leader is going to break first, so I get to keep my sinkers and stuff anyway. But I've got Abu and Akuma, the barrel type reels, and I'll pull that braid up and wrap it 3 times around the reel, and then just give it a quick yank, and it breaks that 50-pound braid real quick.
You can do that on the bank. You can't do that on the boat, though, Jim.
No,
you pull the boat around.
Yeah, it sure will, especially that 80-pound test. You got to get right.
I'm like Glenn. That's like I'm trying to drag your anchor in when you got something like that.
I mean, in the boat, when I'm in the boat, if I get hung up, I'll just turn the trolling motor off and pull over to where it's at, and then I'll wrap it like I do and grab the rod and pull straight up. It's the only way I can break it.
Yeah, you can't break it. That's and I mean 30-pound mono is tough to break when you're on a boat.
Yeah.
It's just it'll turn your cotton picking boat around before you break it. I mean, I'm like you. I try to reel as much slack and get it as tight as I can, put that wrap on there and try to do a hard yank. And a lot of times if you got a little nick or something like that in there, you might can pop it, or bust a swivel or something like that.
Now that's something you don't want to do with braid. Is reel that real tight, because it'll cut down into the other and get underneath it.
Yeah.
Next time you cast, you'll backlash like crazy because it'll start.
Well, I'm talking about wrapping it around your reel itself a couple times good.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Well, Jim, it's almost 9 o'clock, and I know some people's got to work tomorrow. They joined in the show, and I appreciate it, and I don't want to keep them too long. I'll let you know who's going to be on next week's show. I haven't talked to them just yet. Oh, yeah, I did. JR, New School, will be next week, next Wednesday night. Get your questions ready. He'll be on here at 8 o'clock next Wednesday night.
I got some questions for him.
And let's keep it civil.
I don't
start. But he's a good fisherman. He's put some good fish in the boat. He's very knowledgeable, not just on catfish, but on striper, the hybrids. You seen his hybrid video the other day. He was slaughtering them hybrids. He knows how to chase them, when to chase them up in the rivers. He's got another boat that he goes up shallow chasing them. I want to do that with him. I've never done that kind of fishing. But with that being said, guys, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everything that y'all guys do, supporting the catfish community. Make sure to support our veterans. Put Old Glory on your house and on your boat, people. We need all the support we can get. Jim, I thank you for coming in the show. We'll do this again.
Yes, sir.
I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Look for my new videos to come out. I know Jim's getting ready to start trying to edit and make him some new videos. We got to do it, guys. Let's hit them 1,000 mark. Let's make this tournament happen next year. But that being said, God bless America. God bless each and every one of you. Jim, I appreciate you for coming in. You want to say good night?
Good night, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming in. Want to thank Lena and Ken and Tracy and them for believing in me and helping me support my fishing habits. And God bless America and everyone in the show.
Thank you, Jim. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.